Once upon a time, there was a man. There was a man who wanted nothing more than to become the greatest that ever was. He watched too many memes, uploaded too many Reddit posts, and looked through too many Tumblr blogs.
And
then,
confirmed all the memes.
yes, and all that he wanted to be
And
was to
leaked
become the
all the
ultimate
smash.
meme. But then, one day, the star of message comes across the universe in the form of Shrek. And Shrek came upon him. And he said, "Oh, Shrek, please tell me, is there any way for me to become a god such as yours?" And Shrek said, "Bend over, Shrek is love, Shrek is life." And so the first horrible monstrosity came inside of his body, in the form of his neck.
What even is that neck? There's arms on it.
It's a neck from Shrek's own created semen. But then he saw his neck and he became too happy, too proud of his meme that he ventured all across the multiverse. And then he saw his next target. SpongeBob. SpongeBob asked him, "What are you doing here? Do you want a Krabby Patty?" And he said, "Yes, give me all your Krabby Patties. I wish to become the Krabby Patty." And then SpongeBob literally tore off his own face and molded into his right arm. His arm of destruction.
Which one?
And so the second form of his destruction came in. And so he was more ever so powerful. The next night, he saw the oldest meme that was ever been memed. "I feel you, bro. I feel you, bro." Dude comes into contact with him and he hugs him. And the ultimate broness of him melded into his very chest. Now, with a giant snake on his nipple. And so, he became even more so. And then, he went to a legendary land known as Light Souls, where everything was so dark that there was light everywhere. And he saw a man with a beer drinking, and he saw that he was drinking even more. And the man with the beer put his beer down and spoke out to him.
Is it where
Julian,
Praise
just
the
is the ultimate.
sun.
This is the ultimate. meme.
Praise the sun. And his head came off. But in return, he has the sun as his very neck.
What is this?
He came across many warriors, such as the Amaviolin Malazor, Sans' very wings, the Soul Calibur itself. He even destroyed Thanos and aimed for the head, acquiring the Infinite Gauntlet. Oh my god.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes, one of them. There's even more in his storage.
Couldn't find the other.
And then he went out with his normal looking legs at least to the outer realms of reality where he saw intestinal organs. He wrapped it around his torso and the intestinal organs became chicken intestines. He was so hungry that he ate it and thus he became intestinal organ. Went the second phase of his plan to rule the galaxy and the universe. He went towards the greatest god.
The greatest model ever.
And so he decided, I need more than just normal bee's knees. I need more than just normal legs. Yes, I need to make them hairier. But then he got cancer. Dun! And his cancer grew eyes at the amount of agony he was feeling. There was too much power. He couldn't take it. And soon his legs grew their own conscience. Thankfully, he was able to put in the Infinity Shoes. I'll call that the strength of his legs intelligence. The Infinity Shoes became his greatest ally, for it also had an intelligence of its own. Oh god! Don't worry. For the Infinity Shoes,
we'll just
the Infinity
just
Shoes
take the audio.
will always come together as his.
Don't
Then-
worry, fate just doesn't want.
He went towards the Eldritch realm with his normal final legs. And so Nyarlathotep, he grabbed Nyarlathotep by the end of his dick and he turned it into his own thighs. So hairy and so veiny. And then he went
That's a lot
towards his brother, Cthulhu, of which he turned into this monster, this sick monstrosity, this caricature of the insanity that once was that bearded man, and turned it into his femur. Then lastly, he went to Azathoth, the god of all eldritch gods, and turned into this weird-ass looking wool sock. That bastard! He wears a wool sock in public! So, he saw that it was all good, and that Harry the PP was happy despite his undeniable agony over the insane amount of blood rushing towards him all the time. Look at his happy face. Look at his angry smile. But thankfully, he has a brother, which is the Dragon PP. We always say, which makes it really hard for him to copulate with anybody, but that's not hard, I think. So, he was like, which translates to, I'm gonna use a weapon that will destroy all that I've come from. I must have it!
Question, why is it so sans?
Because he sounds people. And so, he held out his hand and saw a thick stick with a man's head on the bottom. He saw it, what looks like a horrible anime character, but that's not part of it. And so, he went up to the Rocky Mountains and found the very legs of this great... Is that Godzilla? Holy shit! That's Godzilla's ribcage! What are you doing, man? Ew! And so he ventured out into the outer space and saw a giant black hole of which he molded into it with the very power of Godzilla's legs. He ventured even further and saw a fragment of an eldritch god who was so undeniably scared of him and of his ungodly leg that he decided to just become his slave, his goddamn sword. And so he took out and ripped out a piece of him, and then he turned it into the sun. That's right. He turned it into not a sun, the sun, which is always trying to reach out for help, trying to reach out for anyone that will help it, but it is also in vain. So it just decided to eat everything and let go. Lastly, he took a piece of himself and turned it into his very blade. Hit burr. Always hitting, always burring with that goddamn mouth of his, saying Sieg Heil. With a bone. His bone was so strong, so hard, that it became a special attack of the man known as Sniss! Sniss! Who always goes that translates to I'm gonna have a bad time. And so he decided to add the final collection to his weapon. His very heart. Stabbed upon the blade. You can see its agony, it's in the eyes. See the pure pain as it's getting ripped apart by the sword of his. And he knew that it was the end. Good God, I wanna die. The end. This is the story.